Today's commencement speaker is someone who spends every day thinking of you and your education. After 33 years in the Ohio Senate and House of Representatives, Randy Gardner was selected by Governor Mike DeWine to serve as Chancellor of the Ohio Department of Higher Education. As Chancellor, he oversees one of the largest systems of colleges and universities in the country. He has served with great distinction in this role, working to make college degree more accessible, supporting programs to help students succeed, and building connections between graduates and workforce needs in Ohio. For Shawnee State, Chancellor Gardner has been our strong advocate at the state level and an extraordinary resource. Please help me welcome Chancellor Randy Gardner.
Great timing, huh? President Bauer, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, platform guests, families, and especially to you, the 2022 Shawnee State graduates, thank you very much for allowing me to be your speaker today. I am honored to be at this fabulous setting on this great campus. Really, this is a celebration of the lives of hundreds of graduates who are going to go on to do great things, who have persevered doing strangely difficult times, but you're here today to take that next great step in life. Now, I want you to know right from the beginning that I ran into a lady at the hotel at the Holiday Inn. I don't know if you're here somewhere, ma'am, but that was me. And she mentioned that it was kind of cold, it was kind of rainy, and I said, I wonder if the speakers are going to realize that and maybe cut their speeches short. She said that would be a good idea. I said, I think I have something to say about that. She kind of looked at me and she didn't know who I was. So today is not about me, and this is going to be a little shorter perhaps than the usual commencement address. But I want you to know that I hope part of my message at least resonates with you. I don't know if it will, but I remember one time when I was a state senator that I was able to connect with a group of people. 4 years ago, I was speaking to a group of fifth graders on Constitution Day. And they came to the library, and we were going to talk about the history of the Constitution and learn about Constitution Day. And we were going to play the Constitution Jeopardy game, and I would be Alex Trebek. It was exciting. And before we started, though, Did I go too long already? I mean, you know, come on, people. Where was I? I was with a student who was about to answer my question. So who's my boss? And a little girl in the front row raised her hand and said, it's got to be the President of the United States. And I said, no, it's not the President. Another boy then raised his hand and said, maybe it's the mayor. And I said, no, it's not the mayor. I said, if you live in Bowling Green in Wood County, that means you're my boss. I report to you, I listen to you, you get to ask me questions or send me letters. I try to do the best job I can for you. You're my boss. And so I realize you never know if you're going to get through to fifth graders, but I received a thank you card just a few days later, and it reads, Dear Senator Gardner, thank you for having us for Constitution Day. I love the Jeopardy game you gave us. We played. It was fun. I love the Constitution book you gave us. Your boss, Savannah. So I'll never forget that. And an important part of life is to know who your boss is, but to also the message is everyone is important. Those fifth graders were just as important as constituents as to their parents or the CEO in the community or the president of the university or anyone else in the community. And just like here, the president of the university has a pretty big title, the president of the Board of Trustees, but just as important are those who helped the maintenance crew that helped put this program together today. And so everyone deserves that respect. So I do believe it is of the universities to help lead that modicum of respect and free speech. I do believe that universities must be institutions of value. They must be relevant to the community, not just in the offices and classrooms of the campus, but they must also be important and of value to the communities they serve. This is the first time I've ever given a commencement speech where I actually voted for the creation of the university where I was speaking. In 1986, my first year in the state legislature, I voted yes on a bill that established Shawnee State for the first time as a state university. And this area, what I've learned about this area of the state is it has a great deal of pride in its history. I was privileged to have a tour of Portsmouth last night with President Bauer and learned a lot. I knew a little bit about Portsmouth, but learned even more. I even spent some time at Spartan Stadium. By the way, they've got a game tonight at 6 o'clock against a team from Cleveland, the professional football team here. And then thinking back about the history of professional football even right here in Portsmouth. So many things. Portsmouth actually was founded in the same year that Ohio gained statehood. And even more recently, looking at some of your high school successes, and I may not have this exactly right, but I think Portsmouth city schools have won the state basketball championship 4 different times. I think South Webster won it once, and Wheelersburg in football beat my alma mater in 2017. My nephew was the coach of Eastwood, and you beat them in double overtime for the state championship. So I have a little bit of familiarity with the history of Scioto County and this area of the state. But this region is proud of its history, but you know, it's not all about history. Governor DeWine was here just 2 days ago and announced $500 million of investments in the Appalachia region. With just a little bit of extra support and strategy, Shawnee State graduates are going to have even more opportunities for jobs, for a career, to provide for their families. And it's about time that the Appalachian region received its fair share of attention from the state of Ohio. Now, some people may be skeptical that Appalachia's best days are ahead. Very well could be some of you who perhaps doubt that are here today. But I'm reminded of others who have made great predictions, thought that they knew what the future was going to hold, and have been terribly wrong. In the 1870s, Sir William Preece was the engineer-in-chief of the British postal system and said the following: "The Americans have need of the telephone, but we do not. We have plenty of messenger boys." Here's another quotation: "Television won't last because people will soon get tired of staring at a plywood box every night." That was from a movie producer with 20th Century Fox in 1946. From the president of the Michigan Savings Bank advising Henry Ford's lawyer not to invest in the Ford Motor Company in 1903, "The horse is here to stay, but the automobile is only a novelty, a fad." Well, I say to those who believe that Scioto County's, Shawnee State's, Appalachia's best days are behind her, I say they can be just as wrong. This is a community that can be, and I detected last evening, a community at a region of the state and a state university that has a strong trajectory and is on the rise. Many of you will be teachers and nurses and doctors and business leaders and computer analysts and many other things. You've come together here to get your degree. But I'm also aware that there are a number of you who have already provided great service. And I'm also reminded of the Daily Times. If you haven't seen it today, Governor DeWine was here honoring Harley Ellis, who was a World War II and Korea veteran. When he was making the announcement about the Appalachian funding, basically paid tribute to Harvey Ellis as a veteran, someone who served our country. And I just think that was totally appropriate and important to do. But I also know that there are, at least I've been told, there are a number of graduates today who are already veterans of our country, who have already served in the military, and also perhaps a couple of others who are serving in the Air Force Reserves. So I would like them, if they're here, if they walk today, I believe they did, if you would stand and be recognized so we could all thank you for already your service, your public service. Army veteran Margaret Allen. I'm going to call you by name. Navy veteran Timothy Ramey. Navy veteran Brandon Dunn. Air Force Reserve members Elijah McDaniels. And Air Force Reserve Service Joshua Rodriguez. And I think at this moment it might be especially appropriate, especially if I wasn't given the full list, for anyone here, whether you're a parent, a grandparent, a friend, from the community, from the university, if you are a veteran, if you've worn the uniform of your country, as we think about Ukraine and what's going on in that country today and those that fight for freedom, let's say thank you to all of you who are veterans or active duty who are served our country and wore the uniform. Would you stand to be recognized so we could all appreciate what you've done for us? Thank you all very much. I think it's the appropriate time for me to end my speech. To thank you very much for having me. I just can't wait to continue to work with Shawnee State and Governor DeWine to continue to make this area great again. Thank you all very much. It's been a true honor. Congratulations, graduates. Go Bears!